All right.
All
And we are
right.
live.
Hey, New Grad PTs. This is a six-figure PT group, coaching and mentoring for New Grad PTs. And we have the awesome, fabulous David Bayliff, Captain David Bayliff today. We're so lucky to have you. And it's funny because you are now in the hot seat. You know, a couple weeks ago, I was being interviewed on your Facebook page, and now you're on ours. So this is kind of cool to see the other side, you know.
I'm nervous. I'm honestly nervous right now.
Yeah, you should be. You should be nervous.
I think I have a couple more gray hairs.
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't get any more. But no. So David Bayliff is a great friend, mentor as well. He is been a physical therapist for what? You can tell us. Give us a little background into your whole history here as a physical therapist.
When I started, I had dark hair. When I started as a physical therapist, I think Javi was probably 2 years old. But I've been a physical therapist for 24 years. I graduated in 1994. So, and you know, first of all, kudos to you guys for starting this group and for the members in the group. And you know what's so valuable for everybody is that, and one thing that kind of, I guess, put me at I don't want to say a disadvantage, but what I've had to learn through the years is that what you have to remember is that 1994, we didn't have this. You know, we didn't have cell phones. We didn't have the internet. So there's so much of what happens today in physical therapy that...
They did have the Tootsie Roll in 1990.
They did have a Tootsie Roll. Yes, it was probably like a breakdance move.
Yeah.
But, you know, a lot of options that are out there today for building a business we didn't have then. But, yeah, been practicing for 24 years. Started out first in a hospital setting, but did, you know, the outpatient clinic of a hospital setting. And then worked a couple of different outpatient clinics. And then in 2013, started my current business, which is a mobile concierge physical therapy and wellness practice here in Scottsdale, Paradise Valley, Phoenix, Arizona region. Started that in 2013. And it's been fun. It's been a blast.
Okay. So tell us a little bit about the concierge mobile PT setting. What does that entail, and what does that mean to be a concierge physical therapist?
So, concierge, you know, when you say concierge to the public or to the client, what they think, and I've asked them this question, what they think is that you're bringing a higher skill set, you're bringing knowledge, you're bringing...
Tap it.
You're bringing attention to them, but you're making the service about them, and you're bringing them higher skill set and knowledge and answers to their problems or solutions to their problems. That's what they...
How do you present that? How do you present that I'm going to bring you more than a clinic will?
You know, first and foremost, I think that the key is that I don't sell physical therapy. I sell solutions to their real problems of what they have. You know, it's important to get into the mind of that client in front of you. You know, a lot of you've probably heard the notion of developing your avatar or your perfect client. If those in your group, if you haven't heard that, you're going to be learning that. But really understanding your client and speaking to what's important to them, and showing them that, you know, I can help them get to the 19th hole if they're a golfer, or I can help them get to play a third set of tennis if they're a tennis player, rather than talking about physical therapy. If they're a golfer, you know, honestly, the public doesn't care about flexibility and range of motion, and they don't want you to talk in those terms.
Did you watch my video earlier, or is it just? Are we just on the same wavelength?
You're on the same wavelength.
No,
That's how
we're on the same wavelength.
Yeah.
Seriously, I literally just had this conversation with you know, the guy I mentor just half hour ago, but you know, and he was struggling with some things, and he likes to work, or he wants to work with golfers. And I told him, don't. He said that he was presenting things like, I know I shouldn't talk about range of motion, stretching. I'm like, no, they don't care about range of motion. It means nothing to them.
Right.
What they care about
leave the technicalities out.
Yes.
Yeah.
If they, what they care about is can they bend down to pick up their ball out of the cup? Okay, now that strikes with them. Guess what? To be able to bend down and pick up your ball off the ground or out of the cup, that requires being bendy. That requires flexibility and range of motion.
When I can pick my balls up.
You're right. Oh, me too.
So that's really funny that you say that, because I actually had a patient yesterday, a new eval, tennis player. Mm-hmm. He said, I can't, when I go to lunge for a ball, I throw my back out every time. I can't play tennis. Mm-hmm. And I want to be able to do that. And so we're on that. I treated him yesterday. He called me today. Guess who has an appointment tomorrow? I evaled and treated him yesterday. Okay. So that's just something like, you can't promise or guarantee anybody anything, because you can't fall on you can't always deliver. You're not going to fix everybody, but there are things that you do know, and there's things that you do see during the eval that are going to resonate with you, and that you're going to be like, yes, I can fix this person. So you can almost kind of be like, yes, I can do this for you.
Sure.
And then during the treatment, you do it for them, and then they come back.
Yeah.
And so, mind blown, right? But yeah. So I just wanted to throw that little thing in there. I mean.
And the key, like what you did with this client, the key is to educate them.
Yep.
To set up the expectations, let them know what they can expect.
Absolutely.
And then also from experience, let them know the pitfalls that they may experience if they don't follow your game plan. And that's how you set the value of what you're bringing to them as a concierge physical therapist. And in doing that, and in setting the expectations and educating, then describing the pitfalls, that sets you up as an authority and
the expert.
Yeah. Right? And it makes you become, in their eyes, a decision maker. Right. And that's what people want, is they want you to be a decision maker. And that's how you sell the concept of concierge, or that's how you sell the concept, however you're practicing, but that's how you sell yourself to the person right in front of you, or to the person on the phone. Yeah. Now, there's a lot more that goes involved, but...
Yeah, and just going back a little bit, the fact that this is coming from you, you've been practicing now for 24 years.
24 years, yes.
And in school, we're taught that the patients care about the technical stuff, the modalities, the things we do with our hands. The fact is that they don't care about that stuff. They just want to get back to, listen, patients don't want physical therapy. They just don't want it. They want physical therapy. They need physical therapy. They don't want it, though. So once we start talking in a language that they can understand, now we're building that connection with them. Once we build that connection with them, they're more likely to trust us and respect the decisions that we make for them. So that's massive. As new grad physical therapists, that's something we have to get in our heads, and get it in our heads as quickly as possible. Otherwise, we're just going to be talking to a wall, because the patients are just going to completely block us out. So that's key, and that's one thing that I wanted to drive home, because I think that's a very important point, especially coming from you.
Yeah, so. and I'm probably gonna piss off a few people, but
piss them off.
Just like you said, they don't really care. They don't care about the letters after your name. Right. They may ask what they mean, but they don't care. They don't care that you're OCS. They don't care that you're the FAOMPT, whatever it is. They don't care that you're this or you're that. And
I'm offended now. We're gonna have to end this.
No, but they don't. They care that you have solutions to the problems. And you're absolutely right, Javi. They don't care about physical therapy. And if you don't believe me, okay, here's proof in the pudding.
Give me some pudding.
How often do clients cancel on physical therapy, hem and haw about physical therapy? They want physical therapy to be free. Now, how often, and Angel, you can appreciate this, how often will a woman cancel her hair appointment that she has to pay $150 for?
Ha.
How often will someone cancel their nail appointment because it's $75?
Never.
How often will they cancel going to get that Botox that's, $225 that they pay for? They don't. They care about vanity, and they care about how am I going to be better. Physical therapy isn't being better.
They don't see the value because
Right.
they can function. That's
They
the whole
can
thing.
function.
They can function. Until
Right.
they can't function, they see the value.
Mm-hmm.
The patients that you want as a concierge cash-based physical therapist, they can function, but they want to be better.
They want to be better.
They have this pain. They've had this pain for a while. They can still function with it, but they want to be able to do certain things the right way, and they know that. And so that's what makes it so valuable.
Right.
We don't want the patient that's going to come one time because they threw their back out and then be like, well, I don't want to do this. I don't want to put the work in. Well, then let your back get, first of all, thrown out, every 8 weeks or so. Good luck to you. And don't come back calling me. Go through your insurance. Bye. See ya.
I hate to say it, but it's like to be successful, you almost have to vanitize physical therapy. Because people will pay. They will pay to be better, but to them, better is I look better, I look prettier, I look thinner, I look more fit. I can do this, I can do that. But
I hate to break it to you. You don't look good when you're walking with a limp. You ain't no pimp. Okay, let's get that straight.
No, let me tell you something.
You got that Trendelenburg. It ain't cute, honey. It ain't cute.
When I had my osteitis pubis and I walked like a penguin, that wasn't too sexy.
No.
You weren't bendy then. You were not bendy then.
No.
And let me tell you what, I didn't get too many dates then either.
So I think one of the main points that we're trying to hit with that is really finding out those internal pain points and realizing that people make decisions based off emotions. People spend, like you said, $150, $200, $250 to go get a haircut because it makes them feel significant. It makes them feel nice. It makes them feel like they can, like you said, vanity. It makes them feel like they can own the world, and it's an emotion at the end of the day. So if you can sell that emotion to them, that emotion that they really want, that they really desire to feel, if you can sell them that in physical therapy, then they're sold. And then the hardest thing is doing that continuously throughout their plan of care, so that they keep on coming back. Because if they're not reminded of it each and every session, they're bound to just drop off, and you'll have no idea why.
Absolutely.
The why is because you lost them. Maybe you started talking about something else that was not that thing that they initially wanted. So make sure that thing that they want, the internal pain point, the reason they're coming to see you in the first place, is constantly being reminded and put in front of them. Like, hey, listen, you're pain-free now, but this is not the goal. The goal is to get you to here.
Yep.
Right? And then after we get you here, then we're going to get you here. And ultimately, that's going to get you to that very thing that you want from all of this. And I think that's massive.
I didn't even need to come on the show, man. You just mic dropped right there.
You mic dropped.
But and you bring up an excellent point that again, you said each time you need to remind them of why they're inviting you to come work with them, wherever that setting may be, whether it's in the clinic or whether it's like me in their home, wherever, but why they're either inviting you to come back or they are coming back to see you. You have to remind them of that. And a perfect example, and I know Angel does this with her clients because she works with golfers, but I had a lady and she called me and her back was hurting and she plays golf and I was like, well, what's the problem? And so she's describing it, but I knew that if I said, well, okay, let's take care of your back, blah, 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 I would have maybe seen her once. But I got to the heart of it and she's like, the only way I can feel better is to lie down. And so I was like, oh, so you're not going to the 19th hole with your friends? She's like, no, I'm not, because by the 14th hole, I'm done. So each time I go to see her, the first question is like, okay, how much closer to the 19th hole are we? And that keeps her focused on what she really wants her outcome to be. Mm-hmm. She might start feeling better, and so often people, they start feeling better, like, oh, I feel better, boop, I'm out of here, I'm done. and they forget what their real goal is. So that's why
Right.
you have to remind them, here's where you really want to be. Don't let the fact that you're feeling pretty good lead you to a false sense of you're done.
That's all too familiar in our setting. It's people, you teach them, you make them better in a couple sessions, you give them home exercises, they follow it, they do great, and then they're like, well, I haven't really had pain, so I don't, there's no reason to come see you. Okay, great, but there's other reasons. You don't have to come personally see me, but you need to follow a regimen, follow a routine. You don't have pain, but you're still lacking something. There's still something that's not there that we need to correct, because you don't fix an issue when you have back pain like that. You don't fix that in 4 to 5 sessions. That's just not, that's unheard of.
Right.
You can definitely feel better, no doubt, but there are some maintenance that needs to be done to prevent injury and to maintain and to not have that injury again. And people get in that mindset, I don't have time, I'm working, blah, 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 and then they won't go for that end goal and what they really need to do. So what do you recommend, what's the verbiage you use, or what do you say to get them to continue to retain that?
First of all, for one, I talk about the value of a regular maintenance program.
Okay.
And that I tell them that, the greats in any sport, they still sought out mentorship, coaching, they take care of the bodies. I mean, Tom Brady is still playing because he's invested in his body. Yeah. And so that's what I talk about with them is like, okay, this problem here is feeling pretty good. You're doing well, and along the line of seeing them, maybe they've talked about other issues, or other problems. And so, you bring that up and you talk about how they want to invest in their health before their health becomes an expense.
Right.
And that's kind of the path I take them down.
That's good. That's
an
good.
investment.
So, I like it. So one of the analogies that I like to use too, and this I'm doing the initial eval, and it goes back to what you were saying about managing expectations, and that's huge. So this all has to be said from the start, even if you can, even from the phone. Start it from the phone call, the first phone call, that initial point of contact with them. Start telling them what to expect, so that when they come and see you that first time, they're already primed for that. Now, what I wanted to get to was an analogy that I like to use. I like to relate physical therapy, or at least like the later phases of physical therapy, where we're getting to that maintenance phase, where they have to continue with something. Otherwise, they're just going to regress again, and eventually it's going to come back. At one point or another, if they don't keep up with something, they're going to be back with you or without you, maybe at another physical therapy practice. And that's another topic we have to talk about, which is a follow-up. But the analogy that I like to use is
get a follow-up.
Relating physical therapy to a diet. So a diet, let's say you go on a diet for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, whatever it is. You look great, you feel great, you've lost all this weight. Guess what happens when you stop? It all comes back, right?
You get fat.
You get lazy, you get tired, you feel fatigued, you can't move, all these bad things happen, and they all come back, right? So a diet only works, or like making sure you're eating healthy only works if you're consistent with it.
Lifestyle.
Same thing, right? Exactly.
The lifestyle.
So physical therapy is a lifestyle, right? So if we don't set that expectation from the beginning, where we're telling our patients like, hey, listen, like once you get 100%, like you have to keep on doing this, because it's like a diet, right? If we get you better, you feel stronger, you feel like you can take on the world, you're doing all these things that you told me you wanted to do, that's great. But as soon as you stop, it might not be in 2 months, might not be 6 months, might not be a year, maybe even 2 years, but eventually you're going to be back here, because it's going to come back to haunt you. You're going to lose that knee stability that we gained. You're going to lose your strength. You need to be a part of a maintenance program, whether that's a maintenance program with me, a ongoing fitness or wellness program with me, or at a gym. This is what you need to do to be injury-free for life, right? And that's it. And saying that from the beginning, just being completely honest with them, like, if this is what you want, and you don't want to get surgery, if that's what you're trying to avoid as much as possible, this is what needs to be done. Is this what you want?
Right.
Yes or no?
That's
no
exactly
one's
right.
going to say no to
True
that.
or not true? True or not true?
Now, Javi, what you just said, which is, I want to take that back to your to a question earlier, what we talked about of skills. You Everything you just said, you just sold the client on working with you, and did you even put your hands on them?
Nope.
You communicated. Yep, you communicated, and that's the most important skill set that any therapist could have, is to be able to communicate. And again, the public doesn't care about textbook communication. They don't care about the Latin. They don't care about the Greek derivations, the origin insertions. They care, can you communicate, and can you make decisions?
Right.
And that whole example of what you just gave, which was beautiful, that's exactly what you did for the person, is you just communicated to them.
Yep.
And that's the number one skill that therapists need to have and need to be able to develop.
So, so we've gone on a few tangents, which I love, because
I love it. Good.
We provided so much value
not
already.
Not only am I left-handed, but I'm a Gemini, so I'm like, look, a bird.
I love it. So I mean, okay, so in the grand scheme of things, now we're talking to new grad physical therapists, right? Like some of this stuff might go over some people's heads, like, oh my god, like what is this? I never learned this in school, which is exactly the point. This is
don't get overwhelmed.
But you have to know this out at some point. Why not know it now, right? Yep. Figure this stuff out now. Otherwise, you're gonna live in a world of hurt and pain for the next 10, 15, 20, 25 years. So, what is the one thing that you wish you knew your first year of PT school?
Of PT school?
Yeah, we're taking it back, baby.
Oh, are you calling him old?
Well, see.
No, I'm not.
Wait, are we live?
We're live.
Oh, well, because see, I never went to PT school. I bought my degree off eBay.
Wait, there was no eBay back then, liar. Well, I'm just messing. I'm just messing.
First year. What I wish I'd have known first year PT school is that well, even before that, is I wish that I would have actually put in the work in undergrad, so that it didn't take me 3 years of trying to get into school. That's what that's one thing I wish I'd have known. Now, one thing that I did know is when I got to school is that by then I figured out how I best learned. And so I used that knowledge to my advantage. I realized that, I don't learn by writing down every single word that the professor says and then going home and reading those notes. I learned that I need to be one-on-one with somebody who understands it and can explain it to me, and I talk it out. And so I found people in my class, a small group, that's how we studied, is we got together and we talked it out. And then I was able to learn, and I, grade wise, I did very well. So it's figuring out how you learn, because grad school, PT school is different from undergrad.
Right.
Much.
And what I want people to hear from that, particularly the people in your group who might be pre-PT, is that I just said it took me 3 years to get into school. And I had to figure out how to study. My grades sucked prior to PT school. But you know what? I stuck with it. Mm-hmm. And I knew that it was what I wanted to do. And I did whatever it took to get there. And, I didn't graduate last in class, but I didn't graduate first. But guess what?
You graduated.
I graduated. I've been a director of a large clinic. Now 24 years into it, I now have my own business. And so, if it's what you want to do, don't let somebody tell you that you're not good enough.
Yeah. Don't let fear hold you back, because fear will look you in the eye. It'll penetrate you deep and not in the way you want, and it'll just destroy you.
It will.
And we all know that. We all know that.
And a lot of those things you said it's so true, because finding out how you learn and how whatever it is, like you said, you learn better in groups. And this is something that you can take after you graduate physical therapy school as well. If you work better in groups, you want to look for an employer or job opportunity that maybe has those team meetings where you can shoot ideas with, work in a team environment, one that's not so kind of like it's more of an environment that spends time with your growth and teaching you things. That mentorship is great. So that's good to know that first year PT school. Now, what's the number one piece of advice that you would give to a new grad physical therapist just coming out of school?
Just coming out of school. Well,
yeah.
First of all, I was anticipating this question, so I thought about it. What's important is, follow your passion, follow your dream, and you can go out there and you can create it. It might be working for a company, it might be working for yourself. Don't let someone tell you that you can't work for yourself coming out of school. And I've heard therapists today who have been practicing for a while cut down new grads, saying, that's ridiculous that so-and-so thinks that he can go start his own clinic. He has to go work somewhere for 5 years and get mentored before he even thinks about that. And that's all just BS. I mean, follow your passion and follow your dream, and you can
find your why.
Find your why.
Find your why. Find your why and create a mission. Create a vision that's bigger than, what you ever imagined. Something that kind of, resonates with not just you, but the community, right? The community you're in. So,
and if you think that there is not a group of people out there who want to know what your passion is, there is. I kind of compare it to, like, you go on a trip somewhere, you get there, you rent a car, they give you a rental car, and you're like, oh, I've never seen a Chevy Volt before. Like, what's this thing? And then you get home, and now all of a sudden it's like, 1 out of every 3 cars is a Chevy Volt on the road. So if you come up with it, develop it, follow your passion, let the people know that you're there, and they're going to be there. If Javi, I know that one of your deep passions, because we've talked off the air, you love butterfly watching, and if you just let people know that you are skilled at preventing them from having eye strain and elbow strain from catching butterflies and watching butterflies, they're going to be there. And they're going to follow you.
That was hilarious.
So this is awesome because
or salsa dancing. You can work with the salsa dancers.
He loves Butterfly World.
So this is funny because the first thing I thought about, and guys, I'm not really that into butterfly watching, but I did go to Costa Rica and I had a bunch of butterflies landing in my cup. So I'm the butterfly whisperer. Come on, guys, look at that.
Yes.
Look at that. Butterflies.
I love it.
Yeah.
Why isn't that your profile picture?
Oh, no. My girlfriend's more important than butterflies.
Oh, totally. She could be the spirit.
So I don't know if that answered your question, but I liked it.
Oh, it absolutely did.
It sounded good coming out of my mouth.
No, it was great. It was great. And that goes back to why we created this community and why we have you on, right? People need to know. People need to, huh?
I'm old. I'm just sitting here thinking, like, man, like, I don't know, like, well.
We needed, it's Wisdom Wednesday.
No.
We needed some of the
Winning Wednesday,
wisdom, winning, whatever. It's Wisdom Wednesday. We know you got a ton.
No, Captain.
When I was 27 years old, I looked like you, Javi. I had dark hair.
No.
See, that's your future, Javi. You're good.
Hey,
you're good. You're golden.
I'm excited. If I can look like that,
look at this, man.
And I'm sure he can butterfly catch like a champ.
I'm excited. Oh, man. I can only wish to look like you. So, no, but in all honestly, that's why we have you here, because we want to show people that it's not just coming from us. Because I know we just graduated. I graduated a year ago. Angel's 2 years out. Yeah. But I want people to see that it is possible that people are doing it. A lot of people are doing it. You just have to learn the skills, be around that community of people who will push you through, answer questions, have that support group with you, and that's what this group is all about. Right?
Absolutely.
The more people that join this group, the more people contribute, the more people ask questions, the more everyone's engaged, the more we can help. And that's why I love having you here, because you can just, everything you just said is so key. Like, find your passion, whatever that is. Don't let anyone tell you you can't do something, because it's total BS. If they're not where you want to be, if they're not doing the things that you want to do, don't listen to them. It's a load of crap. Just remove them from your life. Like, just like, it's the dumbest thing in the world to listen to anyone that is not doing something that you want to do. Find the ones that are doing it and learn from them. Right? Invest, if you have to invest in yourself to learn from them. If you have to do an online course, pay a mentor, take a course, a certification, a seminar, whatever it is, figure it out. If that's what you're passionate about, go do it. There's no excuses. There aren't any excuses.
Seek out mentorship.
Yeah.
Whether you pay for it, or even like with this group that you're working
it'll
with,
change your life.
That's it.
Seek out mentorship.
Your life.
Yep.
And what you talked about of not listening to people, there will never be a shortage of people to tell you what you can't do. So you have to just not listen to them. And I think what's also important is like what you said. You're a year out. Angel is 2 years out. I'm 24 years out. I just started my practice 5 years ago. That means that at 19 years in, that's when I kind of made a change. And so once you start a path, that doesn't have to be your path forever. It may, it may change as you go, and that's okay. So I want people to know that as well, that you don't have to know the answers right now.
And there's so much potential for growth in our profession. We don't have to just be clinicians. There are so many other avenues that we can help people in as physical therapists. We don't just have to be in the clinic all the time and have that employee mindset. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Go ahead. And you know what I'm not talking about starting your own cash-based thing. Like, that's not what I mean. There's so many other avenues that we can explore and open up and find passion in. And that's kind of what, Javi and I and Joseph are doing with this new grad mentor thing. I didn't ever think I would help new grads or physical therapists in general, just helping them kind of grow and flourish their business. Like, that's not something that I thought I would do, but it's a passion that I found along the way. So as David said, you don't have to figure it out now. It'll come to you. It'll come to you. It will.
That's it. You just have to start.
Yeah, you just have to start.
And this is actually a great segue into the next question, and that's just getting a little bit more from you, David, on the things that you're working on. Obviously, you have your mobile PT concierge business. I know there are a couple other things that you're working on. You're a busy guy, man, and you're killing it every single day. Please follow David. His videos are the best. The best. They really are, man.
He hula hoops.
They make me, that hula hoop video we posted is amazing. They make me smile every single day. It's awesome, man. I really appreciate you. I really appreciate you. Follow David. Follow his page. So yeah, like I was saying, what else are you working on? I know you have a company, Cobalt Fitness, the Mobile PT League community, which we'll post the links for everyone after this live as well. So yeah, give us some info into that.
Yeah. Well, as you mentioned, my primary business is Bayliff Integrated Wellness. That's my mobile concierge practice. I started the Mobile PT League Facebook group, private Facebook group in February. It's going better than I thought. It's going nuts. I have an online course to assist people who are interested in going into mobile therapy. It helps them, to start the process, and really takes, the frustration, struggles, everything that I had for 2 or 3 years. It condenses it down to, they can get through all that frustration in a week instead of 2 or 3 years. It helps them figure it out.
Awesome.
Eventually, I'm going to, with a colleague, I'm going to have offer a mastermind course that will be, kind of the next step above the entry level roadmap course. As you kind of alluded to, Javi, I have a product, the Co-Bar, and that's really kind of a separate business from my wellness business. It's a totally different. There it is, right there. Yes, ma'am. She has one. Which, by the way, Angel, side note, I just changed my manufacturing, and
I know.
really like the new product a lot better.
Send it over, baby. Send it over.
Yes, but yeah, the Co-Bar Fitness, the product, it just, and I developed it, again, I talked about fallen passion. I developed it because, as I said earlier, I had the osteitis pubis. I couldn't run anymore. I couldn't do anything. And then when I was able to work through that and start exercising again, I knew that I probably shouldn't go back to running half marathons. So I need to change up how I exercise. And it was in that need of being able to get my endorphins going that I developed the Co-Bar to ramp up my workout. So again, that's just my own need, my own passion. I developed a product, and now I have people buying them literally all over the country. So
that's amazing.
The only thing to limit you on what you do, for your listeners out there, is you and your mind. Be creative and go with it. But I think those are the main things I got going right now. I'm supposed to be working on a book.
One thing at a time. One thing.
Well, that's why I haven't even been working on the book. Of course, I've supposed to have been working on the book for literally probably 8-9 years now. But no, eventually I'm going to get the book done. But it's kind of it talks about the importance of staying active as we age. But I think that's all I got going on right now. I mean,
that's it.
That's
it, Javi. He's only got 30 projects.
I know it. That's why I got all this gray hair, man.
Me and Javi, we're just going through puberty. We're just trying to figure out life,
Hey, but you know what, guys like you two, you inspire me every day to do this stuff, because I watch what these young bucks are doing, and I'm like, man, I want to do that. I don't want to just be sitting on the couch eating Doritos. I want to be doing what these young bucks are doing. So you guys, you inspire me every day with, and that's why I do everything I do, because I gotta keep up with y'all.
I don't know about that, but that makes us feel good. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate that, David.
That's true.
Yeah, man.
It's been great having you on, dude.
It really has. It really has.
I've enjoyed it.
Your highlight series when I was on as a guest was awesome, but this, I don't know. This topped it. I think maybe.
I was nervous. I'm not comfortable with the spotlight being right here.
Well, you deserve it.
No, you
with a pink neon poster and all.
That was the best. Yes.
No, but definitely we'd love to have you back on sometime soon. I think that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Absolutely, anytime.
Any parting words of wisdom? Anything else you want to leave our audience with today? Anything you can think of? Just to put you on the spot even more.
Yeah. If you guys, I know you're young enough and old enough to remember the movie Finding Nemo.
Oh, love it. Of course.
And Nemo is kind of scared about things, and he's scared to go venture out looking for
touch of the butt.
I'm gonna start.
Whoever it was he was looking for, and
the butt.
And Dora, she grabbed him by the fin and said, "Just keep swimming, keep swimming, keep swimming."
I think that was his dad,
and that's what I want. That's what I want. People to take away is that every day just take a step, and the hardest step is the first step. But don't be afraid of your dreams. Wow. Pursue your dreams. For me, when I learned that if there was something that I wanted to do, but I was scared and hesitant and I'm not going to do that, I learned to ask myself this: what are you afraid of? Are you afraid of growth? And that helped me to take that step. As physical therapists, and me starting my own business, the worst case scenario, I was going to always have a job.
Exactly.
So as a physical therapist, you're always going to have a job. You can't fail.
You can't.
You can't fail. Your first attempt may not go as you want it to, but don't stop there. Don't stop there.
Don't stop believing.
So just take a step. Don't let everything overwhelm you. Identify that one thing, and each day just think, what can I do today to make progress towards that one thing, and just take a step each day.
Wow. You're not going to be. Rome wasn't built in a day, right? So you can't.
Something like that. Something like that.
It is.
I always get all those sayings screwed up. I say things like, hit, 2 stones with 1 bird and stuff like that. So, I can never get it right.
I love it. I love it. That was amazing. No, thank you so much for that. Yeah, it's so. Well,
thank you.
True. No, thanks again. So we'll chat soon. Does anyone have any questions? If you have any questions for us, either now or after you watch the replay, please post them below. Like I said, we'll post the links to get in touch with David or join his community as well.
Mobile PT
I think that'll be,
Mobile PT League.
Mobile PT League, yes.
I heard they have a lot of good knowledge over there. So
good knowledge.
If you're thirsty for some knowledge,
tomorrow is Thirsty Thursday.
Yeah. If you're just thirsty, just
thirsty
join it.
for some knowledge.
What do you have in that cup right now, huh?
Well,
water.
You know what? It's some GT juice that I just got.
Oh, GT juice.
GT juice.
Like a Mustang GT?
Coming to a store near you.
Yeah. All right, guys. It was awesome being on with you, and definitely we'll be doing this again with you soon, Bayliff.
Thank you, guys.
So.
I enjoyed it.
Signing off, Captain
This
Bayliff.
was a blast. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a great night.
Bye.
Bye.